it's just kind of funny that the UFC felt the need to stack this card so much to make it feel like Sean is the draw. It's actually comical, because I know people were kind of trying to shit on the 300. But I'm like, well, a lot of those fights that people probably would have wanted were on 299 for whatever reason. I mean, it doesn't take much to kind of draw conclusions. You want to build somebody up, you build up and you bring the other eyeballs with all these other people.
Shout out to Jared Cannonier, because how many people are calling out Khamzat? I know there's people in the past that have done that, but for Jared Cannonier to be in the position that he is, to have a win over the former champion Strickland, a man that's at the top of the food chain, although he's not the champion or contending for it anytime soon, top 5, has been for a long, long time, and one good win or 2 good wins, he's right there. To call out Khamzat Chimaev is a gangster move, because Khamzat's calling everyone out. He's got call outs to Pereira, Duplessis, Tom Aspinall, John Jones. I mean, the list, John Jones. Yeah, John Jones.
You're right.
You will also be recommending getting rid of the 12-6 elbow rule. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, that rule, I don't even know if there's anybody that will disagree with that. That's just a silly. That rule is just, I mean, what about 11-5 if we're going to use the clock, or 1-7? Those aren't illegal. 3-9's an awful hard strike from side control. I mean, but that's not banned. It doesn't make any sense, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make. Like, either you ban elbows or you allow. I mean, this is the only one that's not, and it's poorly enforced. Hardly ever is it enforced. And when it is enforced, it's enforced wrong. And you certainly shouldn't have people being DQ'd over this, because you go back and you look at the footage and people will make an argument, well, it wasn't straight down. I've had all this. This rule's untenable as well. Terrible thing we put our referees in, and we should not have rules on the books that are unenforceable, that are not clearly enforceable.
So got my kids, we just went through this In-N-Out drive-through, right? And we're sitting here eating, me and her eating, he's asleep. And a grown-ass man just drives up next to me and rolls the window down and says, hey, excuse me, sir. He said, man, I'm a little low on my car payment this month. It's $172 and I only have 100 of it, man. Is there any way you can help me out? I looked at this dude, I said, no, move around. I said, don't come driving up here while my 2 kids with me, asking me for free. Like, how is that? When did this become okay for a grown-ass man to come ask another grown-ass man for some money to claim he's behind on his car payment? Like, get a job, you bum. I want to cuss right now, but I'm not. But what is wrong with these people? Like, the sad part is he'll ask enough people and someone will give him the money. Maybe not one person, but probably he'll ask 10, they'll give him 5 here, 5 there. Quit enabling these scumbags. What a joke.
A very good experience I have in this fight.
fighters are not employees, right? They're kind of
independent
partners,
contractors.
Contractors.
Independent contractors.
How do you decide? You still decide how much they're paid, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you think about that?
So the way that it works is, there's a, I guess you'd call it a standard level of pay.
Uh-huh.
And depending on who you are and how you make it, how you climb up the ladder. So what happens is when you become a world champion, you become a partner.
Okay.
So when you got the belt, you share in the pay-per-view revenue.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So when you can actually become effectively a revenue partner in the
100%.
business after you work your way into that.
Once you win the title, you become a
I don't know
partner.
if there's another professional sport that I think actually does that. Football doesn't, basketball doesn't, baseball
boxing
doesn't.
does.
Boxing, okay, all right.
Boxing does.
But those are one-time matches, but it's different here where it actually has permanent enterprise value.
And whoever is the champion in boxing, you get the lion's share of the revenue. Here, it's dispersed across everybody. We got a guy right now who's 49 years old. No, I'm sorry, 40 years old. And he's on this hot streak, man. And his name is Jame Miller. Okay. And he's been around forever. He's been around since we bought the company. And he's still fighting. And he's on this hot streak right now. He's going to fight on UFC 300. And this is a guy who's been, I guess you could call him a journeyman in boxing, right?
Okay.
If you ask most people, they wouldn't know who Jame Miller is. And the guy's made millions of dollars.
Good for him doing this.
100%.
And he participates as a partner?
No.
He's not even in that level.
He's never made it to that level.
And he's already and still will take millions from doing it.
So the money is dispersed.
Yeah.
Guys that would be considered journeymen in boxing never make that kind of money. Ever.
Yeah. What do you think is different about this? It's more that it's not a one-time deal. It's the fact that it keeps going.
No, it's because what we do is
we
focus on building great fights with great fighters.
Yeah.
And if you can stay here for a certain amount of time, you make really good money. You know, you can support your family. You can pay your house off. You can, you're not going to be, you're not going to have 30, 40 million dollars, but you'll have 6, 7, 8 million.
And for people who, many of whom may not have had that path.
And most people wouldn't even know who he was.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing.
If you want to, we had a guy early on when the COVID thing started, Tyron Woodley. He came out and Black Lives Matter everything. I think he had Black Lives Matter socks on. He was covered head to toe in Black Lives Matter. And at the press conference leading up to his fight, they would ask him a question. He'd say, Black Lives Matter. They'd ask him another, Black Lives Matter. Didn't say shit to him. No problem, knock yourself. Then we got Colby Covington, who's the complete opposite of the spectrum, right?
Were both of them good fighters?
Right.
Both of them are good fighters?
Yeah, but whether they're good, they're not good, this is America.
Yeah.
Everybody can have their own opinion.
That's right.
I'm not telling anybody what to do, what to say, what to think, how to feel. We're human beings in America. Do your thing. Knock yourself out. I got the platform, and people get pissed off. People get offended. People get this and that. We just had it happen with Sean Strickland. I don't know if you saw this up in Canada.
No.
We're up in Canada. Sean Strickland said a lot of things. I don't agree with 95% of what this guy says, but it's his right to say it. And if you don't like it, tune in on Saturday night. He's going to be getting punched in the face. Okay? If you don't like him, you get to see him get punched in the face. So there you go.
Root for the other guy.
Exactly. Don't get too upset and don't take it too serious.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing.